I want to show you how to make the bookmark tool out of the simple function in Unity. To open Function Runner, you need to press Alt-R by default or go to Tools, Tinker Games, Function Runner. I will press F2 to rename my current page into something like Bookmarks. Hit Enter, then I can press Tab, search for bookmark in static methods, and hit Enter to add our function to the list of functions. As you can see, our function has one parameter, the path, which will be opened on execution. We can execute our function by pressing this button. So let's put the parameter, something like google.com. Now if we press the button, the function will be executed. We can make the child copy and put maybe some other parameter like YouTube. And now we have the YouTube. Let's make the copy another one. Put here. We can put some C drive, for example. Make other copy, full folder, and now we can press the button to open our C drive or C folder, cool folder, or cool document. We can increase or decrease the size of these functions here by pressing Ctrl and the mouse wheel. Also, we can change the parameter names. You can also put the icon by pressing on the icon, like this, or right mouse button to clear it. Let's go ahead and create some notes. Here you can see some of the methods I want to add. First of all, I'll go to page 2, rename it to notes, search for this method, hit enter. This method is very simple. It's debugging the note, the message, in the console, like this, new string. You can create childs, make note 2, note 3, and so on. So when you hit the button, it will simply shows the message in the console. I'll remove this and try another one. This one, which takes the pre-arguments as parameters. Ctrl V, and this one. As you can see, there is a free parameters like the object. You can select the object like this, put some note 1, and the urgency, for example, green. Can make the copy, child's copy, other parameters, objects, background. So now if you press the functions, it will select the canvas, put the node with the green color. If you press this one, it will be with red color, and it will say fixed background. Choose this object. Also, Function Runner allows you to use the classes as parameters. Let's see on this function, this one. I'll remove those previous. Make the couple copies. Put the node 1. It will open several windows like this with Shift. Node 2, Node 3, some emergency, Node 1. This, and let's close. Now, if we press the functions, we will see those parameters executed. You can also put some objects here, maybe here, and now it will be selected. As you can see, classes has some attributes like multi-line, which allows you to put multi-lines instead of single line range attribute, which will create the slider from 0 to 100. Parameters can be a class, structs, lists, or arrays. You can modify those parameters as you want Like if you want, for example, put the texture for this function, you can make like this, texture 2D, something like this. So you can put the texture if you want so, but you can also put the texture here. I'm showing just for example purposes. Put some name maybe here and edit field, the function itself, and so on. The cool thing about the function runner is the hotkeys. Here you can see the tooltip saying that if you want to run a function, you can hold down the spacebar and press the alpha key from 1 to 9. And if you want to switch the pages, you can hold down the left alt and press the alpha key from 1 to 9. 1 to 9 stays for the number of the either function or the page number. So let's try it. Spacebar and 1 will open the C drive, spacebar and 2 will open the cool folder, spacebar and 3 will open this function, will be executed. So if I press the Alt and 2, it will go to Notes, Alt 3, page, page 4, and so on. And now I can press spacebar and 1, 2, 3, and it will be executed those functions. These hotkeys will work even if the window is closed. Let me try this. Space 1, space 2, space 3, then Alt 2, page 2, space 1, space 2, space 3, space 4. All of available shortcuts can be found here in the shortcuts helper. You can pin the window here for the first time, so the learning process will be much easier. Now let's jump and create the next tool to the world builder. Let's start from creating the new page. I'll press on the page name, and those green dots are showing how much functions are in the page. Choose the empty page and rename to something like block manager or block builder. World builder is the monobehavior class that contains internal logic and the public methods. As you can see here, it contains the 7 public methods which can be added to our function runner either one by one or by adding the whole class. Let's try this. I copy the block manager, I search it in the classes, and the first one I can press add and press OK. It says that it will add the 7 methods. OK. As you can see, there is a lot of interesting methods that can be used with our block manager script. What the main difference between the static methods and the public methods? Those are static methods and those as well. And these are the non-static methods. These requires the target. So to set the target, we have to either put our targets to the target slot like this, or we can select our targets and press the execution function. Let me try this. I put 5 by 5. First of all, I will try on the single layer of the block manager. I will press fill, and as you can see, the 5 by 5 blocks are created. Then I can choose the another block, the layer of the blocks, and I can change my type. If you don't know what those parameters are, you can press and hold Ctrl and Alt, and it will say that this is the size 5 by 5, and this is the type of blocks which you want to fill, and so on. This is the radius, this is the type, this is the size. These are the block types to choose, this is activation, and so on. I can select the another layer, for example the middle one, and choose the sand, for example, press fill, and it will fill with the sand at this moment. Choose the top, maybe set 3 by 3, choose the water, press fill, and like this. Maybe I want to put 10 by 10, ground, fill, and so on and so forth. Also, I can select the multiple targets and press fill, and now you can see the all object has been filled with selected type of blocks. Here you can see that the target now is set to free object. We can ping through them. We can lock them. So any selection that we will make will not be accounted for the targets. Even if I choose the top one, or maybe I will need the copy of this layer. And if I choose the new layer, if I press like ground, it will fill the previously selected. Just like with the previous examples, I can make the copy of the function. If I want to make a eraser function out of this, I can set something like 100 by 100, put the air, rename this like erase. And now, if I press space 2, for example, it will be deleted. Space 1, space 1, space 1, and maybe I don't like it. Space 2, remove it. Space 1, or maybe this space 1. Also, I can try some other function like generate random terrain. We also have to set the size of the terrain, 50 by 50, for example. And here we have to assign the blocks, the type of blocks which we want to be spawned. I will choose all of them, including the air, and I can press generate. Take some time, and something like this. Let me clear this and maybe put some 5 by 5. Generate. Trace. I can make the different generators like 10 by 10, 10 by 10, and water and sand, and rename this like water and sand. And if we press generator, we'll generate the water and the sand, or we can choose another type of soft block. Okay. And something like this will be generated. Now I want to show you how to use the drawing methods like this and this one, which is drawing line, and this one is simply drawing with the given radius. I will move this method to the other page like brushes, and simply what I need to do is select the layer and press the space 1 to start drawing the blocks. As you can see, there is a notification saying that the draw method is activating. We can get rid of this by pressing right mouse button and go to properties and press the execute per frame. It allows us to hold down space +1 and draw instead of clicking multiple times. We can hold down and press to start drawing like this. Also, it removes the notification, as you can see. What I want to do now is make the copies of this method and put the other parameters like sand, water, air to have ability to remove our blocks like this. And I can put the name eraser. Now I can use the different hotkeys to draw with different type of blocks like this. If you want to see the cursor of the drawing process, we can go here, this method, activate cursor. I will move it to brushes once again. And now you can click the activation and press the function. Now you can see the cursor is showing us where the block will be drawn, like space 1, and things like that. Maybe here I want to add some water, like this, and put some water here. Also, I can change the size of the brushes, like make it 1, and let's see how it works. Space 1, and space 1, space 1, space 1, and maybe order, I can put this 0 to make it interesting looks, like this, and draw it like this. The other brush is the line brush. Let me try to draw with this one. I will move it to line brushes and go to line brushes, and I choose the ground, choose the radius. You can always go to definition of the function and see what the method is doing. It says that it draws a line between two mouse-picked grid positions using the given block type and optional brush radius. I choose the ground type and choose the radius and press space 1 and then space 1 again to draw the line like this. Space 1, space 1, and I can choose the order, space 1, space 1, here's our order, space 1, space 1, or even set the brush size, space 2, space 2, and order 0, it's okay, space 3, something like this. If you dive into the block manager script, which is pretty simple for the tools like block builder, because it doesn't contain the logic of the tool itself, like drawing the editor window, drawing the buttons, a lot of sliders like changing the size of the brushes, or handling UI for the tools like icons, textures, and so on. Such editor tools would take a minimum about 3000 lines of code to our existing 400s. Here's the comparison. With function runner, it's about 400 lines of code against the 3400 lines of code in total. Function runner allows you not only build the tools, but also increase your productivity. Here you can see I have added Unity main menu items, like create the folder. And now if you want to create folder, you just simply press the command and it creates the folder, on the behavior scripts, shortcuts, and so on, references. You can also run your favorite function through the hotkeys, like space 1 for creating the folder, space 2 the script, space 3 will open the shortcuts, and so on. Also, you can add the favorite function, like setting the game speed, and you can see the parameters asks for the new speed. For example, I can set 1 or 0.5 and 1. And now if you press these buttons, you will increase or decrease the speed of the game. Function runner helps with the game design as well. Here as you can see I have added some simple methods for manipulating with time, units, and the level number. Say if you want to speed up your game, or decrease game speed, or even stop the game, you can easily use the function runner to run the appropriate function. Here's the methods that can increase the health, increase the armor, or kill the units. Simply select the units you want to increase health, or add some armor, or completely kill the unit. Or maybe if you want to jump to another level to check if it's hard enough and edit those units on the level to make good balance, you can use those methods like jump to level 10. Here as you can see level been changed, or 20, set the next level, previous level, and so on. Those are very simple examples. You can add methods which, for example, gives different weapons, and some of the methods can change the weather, gravity, lighting in your game. And you can easily test different weapons with different weather, lighting, and gravity to see how they react. To find a good balance for your game, to test your game and make your game better and more addictive. Thanks for watching.